Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli, narrated by Nelson Runger. This recording is copyrighted 1987 by Recorded Books Incorporated. Niccolo Machiavelli was born in 1469, the same year that Lorenzo de' Medici assumed the title of Prince of Florence. It was the golden age of the Italian Renaissance, an age that has bequeathed to us the masterpieces of Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. But it was also an age of violent political intrigue, assassination, even open warfare between the rival kingdoms and cities of Italy, Naples, Rome, Venice, Florence, and Milan. It was the age of the Borgias. In Machiavelli's lifetime, Italy was twice invaded by the French. The Medici dynasty twice overturned in Florence, and in 1527, 5 years before Machiavelli's death, Rome was sacked by invaders. After the death of the first Lorenzo de' Medici, known as Lorenzo the Magnificent, and following several years of political confusion in the 1490s, Florence became a republic. Machiavelli was elected to an influential office in the government and served ably, even with distinction, for 13 years. But with a new invasion of the French army, Florence, in panic, turned again to the Medicis, and so Machiavelli found himself exiled to a small farm on the hills of Tuscany. There he reflected on power and its abuse, on politics and man. His reflections we now know as The Prince. He dedicated his book to the new Lorenzo, grandson of Lorenzo the Magnificent, hoping that the prince would recall him to public service. He was disappointed. He died in 1532, and The Prince wasn't published until 5 years later. It is a remarkable testament to a man and his times. And now, The Prince.
To Lorenzo the Magnificent, son of Piero de' Medici. It's customary for those who wish to gain the favor of a prince to endeavor to do so by offering him gifts of those things which they hold most precious, or in which they know him to take especial delight. In this way princes are often presented with horses, arms, cloth of gold, gems, and such like ornaments worthy of their grandeur. In my desire, however, to offer to your Highness some humble testimony of my devotion, I've been unable to find among my possessions anything which I hold so dear or esteem so highly as that knowledge of the deeds of great men which I have acquired through a long experience of modern events and a constant study of the past. With the utmost diligence, I've long pondered and scrutinized the actions of the great, and now I offer the results to your Highness within the compass of a small volume. And although I deem this work unworthy of your Highness's acceptance, yet my confidence in your humanity assures me that you will receive it with favor, knowing that it is not in my power to offer you a greater gift than that of enabling you to understand in a very short time all those things which I have learned at the cost of privation and danger in the course of many years. I've not sought to adorn my work with long phrases or high-sounding words, or any of those superficial attractions and ornaments with which many writers seek to embellish their material, as I desire no honor for my work but such as the novelty and gravity of its subject may justly deserve. Nor will it, I trust, be deemed presumptuous on the part of a man of humble and obscure condition to attempt to discuss and direct the government of princes. For in the same way that landscape painters station themselves in the valleys in order to draw mountains or high ground, and ascend an eminence in order to get a good view of the plains, so it's necessary to be a prince to know thoroughly the nature of the people, and one of the populace to know the nature of princes. May I trust, therefore, that your Highness will accept this little gift in the spirit in which it is offered, and if your Highness will deign to peruse it, you will recognize in it my ardent desire that you may attain to that grandeur which fortune and your own merits presage for you. And should your Highness gaze down from the summit of your lofty position towards this humble spot, you will recognize the great and unmerited sufferings inflicted on me by a cruel fate. Chapter 1. The various kinds of government and the ways by which they are established. All states and dominions which hold or have held sway over mankind are either republics or monarchies. Monarchies are either hereditary, in which the rulers have been for many years of the same family, or else they are of recent foundation. The newly founded ones are either entirely new, as was Milan to Francesco Sforza, or else they are, as it were, new members grafted on to the hereditary possessions of the prince that annexes them, as is the kingdom of Naples to the King of Spain. The dominions thus acquired have either been previously accustomed to the rule of another prince, or else have been free states, and they are annexed either by force of arms of the prince himself or of others, or else fall to him by good fortune or special ability. Chapter 2. Of Hereditary Monarchies. I will not here speak of republics, having already treated of them fully in another place. I will deal only with monarchies, and will discuss how the various kinds described above can be governed and maintained. In the first place, the difficulty of maintaining hereditary states accustomed to a reigning family is far less than in new monarchies, for it's sufficient not to transgress ancestral usages and to adapt oneself to unforeseen circumstances. In this way, such a prince, if of ordinary assiduity, will always be able to maintain his position, unless some very
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.